Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
So the Carolina Panthers just beat the Houston Texans as we thought they would. Um, Takeaways. Go ahead.
Sam Darnold looked really good. Matt Rule coached the Adam Gase out of him. At least it looks like that. I mean, he's thrown for like over 850 yards in these first three games for him, which is more than he did in any of his games or any of the first three games during his time with the Jets. So that's awesome. The DJ Moore connection is alive and well. And I mean, DJ Moore fantasy owners, you better be hyped if he's going to be getting like upwards of 13 plus catches a game with like 18 plus targets a game with that. Robbie Anderson stock though, going down, going down.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's actually too much of a concern of mine. I mean, I guess if you want to talk about fantasy, maybe, but I feel like it'll balance itself out over the
No, it
season. That's
will.
just
It
how
will.
that's just how it went tonight. Honestly, I think the place I want to start with this game is the fact that the Texans actually just lost because they didn't let their rookie quarterback cook enough. Like they just didn't even give themselves a chance to win purely because they said, no, we can't let this guy throw the ball too much. If he throws the ball too much, we'll lose the game. And what they did was ended up wasting about 60 to 70% of their drives just slamming the ball into the line of scrimmage, if not trying to hit the edge sometimes and still getting tackled for losses, and really not setting him up for success after not having a good first or second down play to give him third and long and basically no chance to convert.
Yeah, David Culley coached this game like he has been a wide receivers coach for 27 years in the NFL. Um, just a lot of decisions where I mean I hate Troy Aikman and Joe Buck's commentary because Troy Aikman's just like, oh, if you're a big statistician fan, it says to go for it here, but I'm not gonna hate on David Culley for doing this. I'm like, no, if it's 4th and 2 and you're down one score here, why wouldn't you not go for it? Even if you don't want Davis Mills to throw it, hand the ball off then instead of taking a delay of game. So it's like, we're really setting our punter up here to pin him, which you know is not gonna happen because you're the Houston Texans.
I don't know. At that point, it was still a low scoring game, and honestly, I kind of disagreed with Matt Rule both times he had like fourth and shorts and considered going for it. Early in the game, they went for it on 4th and 1, didn't get it, and then late in the game, they were about to go for it and then called the timeout and actually kicked the field goal. I liked that second
I
guessing
like
themselves.
the second one I liked. The first one I didn't. I feel like they could have had a better play call there than what
Oh,
you said the Texans were doing, where it's just like, yep, let's just slam Chuba Hubbard into the line and hope that he picks up this 1 yard. When they obviously had more creative stuff in their playbook. I know they do. They have Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, but it's just like, yeah, we need 1 yard here, and apparently just completely stopping because on that Sam Darnold sneak for a touchdown where he just was stood up, they are gonna blow the whistle. They're gonna still let you move, which that should not have been a touchdown. That if there's any play in the game that irked me, that play did, and I was just like, he's been stood up for 3 seconds. Or now the fullback and the running back are running straight into. Okay, they get the push and he scores now. That shouldn't have been a touchdown. Like they would have scored the next play, guaranteed. Uh, but that just that made me so mad.
well, Chuba Hubbard looked like a moron the play before because he
Oh yeah,
wasn't prepared to catch the ball when he like you're running out
multiple
of
times he
you're
wasn't ready to catch the
motioning
ball.
motioning out of the backfield. You like nobody. People have to run with you. It's the easiest Devonte Adams touchdown route ever, and Chuba Hubbard can't even catch that ball. So maybe we do deserve to give more credit to Devonte Adams. Um, yeah, no. As for like the Panthers' strategy though, I really talking about the one earlier in the game. Yes, bad play call. Yeah, because no, if I'm gonna go for it, that's not what I'm calling either.
Hmm.
But with that being said, I wouldn't have gone for it in that situation because even early in the game, you could tell what the Texans' game plan was, and it was just like, man, if we put up like any decent amount of points at all, we should be able to win this game. And just with that on your mind, I feel like that is a good reason to go for it there because it actually, or, sorry, not go for it there, kick it there, and then it really puts you in a better position going into like not, I mean, you could get it and then you could score a touchdown, but it like guarantees
Mhm.
the fact that you're going to have at least probably like a 4 point lead going into the break as opposed to a 1 point lead that they ended up having. And it didn't matter in the end, but it's just, I think that there is a lot to be thought about with how the opposite team is doing in
Mhm.
terms of how the opposite team's offense is performing in terms of going for it on fourth downs. Because I always feel like it's in the games where we see high scoring games, like, oh, the other team's offense is moving the ball a ton, then people get like lax about it, and then they're like, oh yeah, we need to take three here because they're scoring a lot of points. No, it should be the opposite. It's that they're they are scoring a lot of points, so we need to try to maximize our points. Whereas in this game, it was okay, neither side in the first half especially is scoring a lot of points. We need to just get any points we can.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I just always like going for it in short yardage when you're on the other side of the field. I understand that some coaches don't, especially with what you said, but it just kills me too when Davis Mills was having some good plays. It's like, 4th and 2, let's not do it in any sense. Let's not even run a stupid draw to David Johnson that they were loving when it was like, yeah, why not let Davis Mills try to make a throw here? No, 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 no. We need to run a draw with David Johnson so he could pick up 5 yards and then we could punt on 3rd and 12 instead of 3rd and 17.
I really can't believe that we made it out of this game without having either quarterback get intercepted once. That I mean, that's really a wild
Eh,
stat in terms of just situations that the QBs are in terms of having Sam Darnold, who hasn't looked the greatest over the past 3 years, and like I said to you during the game, I'm higher on him now than I was before he got drafted, which is probably basically the opposite of what everybody else is. Like they were high on him when he was coming out, and not so much now that he's here, but I like where he's
mhm,
at in his career, and I think he can still develop more. And then Davis Mills, on the other hand, first game starting as a rookie quarterback, I'm really kind of shocked that we didn't see a single interception in this game. And that was
mhm.
kind of the thing that I said I thought could turn the game for the Texans if they could get some turnovers, but they obviously didn't do that. And it probably would have also taken a few other different coaching decisions on top of turnovers to help them because I don't think they threw the ball enough tonight to even give themselves a chance to win this game.
No, I mean Sam Darnold is very susceptible to every like a couple plays every game where it's just like, bro, you were playing so good. Why'd you throw a ball like that? Where it's like a ball that should get picked or does get picked, and you just go, ugh, dude, you were killing it. He didn't have one of those tonight, so I mean, hats off to him for that. And then Davis Mills, I mean, just our evaluation of him pre-draft, I was thinking that they were just gonna be like, oh, what
Yeah,
are we really gonna do with him? His arm way more impressive than what I was thinking. There were some balls that he fired in there, and I was like, ooh, okay. But
he maneuvered the pocket really well too, and he
oh
didn't look
yes, yes,
he didn't look as completely like a statue as we were hoping he would. I mean, it
no,
was I feel like for me at least, you may have actually thought that. I was just kind of hoping it just because we're rooting for that one more statue QB, but even him, he's not even that bad. Um,
no.
but yeah, when
But
he
it,
needed to a decent amount, he moved in the pocket pretty well up until the end of the game when of course he got crushed.
yeah, he can maneuver the pocket. I mean, there were some plays where he sensed pressure really well, and I was like, whoa, okay, this isn't like anything that I watched on film. And then towards the end of the game, where he was just getting murdered because he wasn't feeling anything around him, especially that Hassan Reddick hit that he took. That was just him stepping up in the pocket and not feeling anything behind him. That should have been called roughing the passer, but I mean, no rookie QB gets roughing the passer called on them, especially when it's just blatant helmet to helmet. That never gets called. But if someone slaps Brady's face mask, you
Yeah,
better watch out.
well, when I saw that, yeah, that's the one play. And then the only other play that I can really say I was like, ugh, in terms of his awareness maneuvering behind the line of scrimmage was just when he had a clean pocket and then his route, he had kind of a bunch of flood
I
concepts
know
going to the
the
right
exact.
side of the
Yep,
field.
I know the
And
exact play you're talking about.
and then he just sprinted outside like to do a rollout with the flood concepts, but yet none of his line was motioning out with him, so they created like a drop back pocket, and he just ran himself out into the open for three defenders to all have easy easy open tackles on him, when if he stayed in the pocket he would have been able to actually set up and make a throw. But if they even gave him more opportunities to throw the ball, maybe he wouldn't have been in the situations he ended up in at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah. There were a couple times too where he rolled out of the pocket where I mean it was getting a little dicey in there, but it's like, dude, you cannot move that well. Like, you can move better than what I thought you were moving like in college, but you cannot move that well. You should not be rolling out of the pocket like of your own volition when it's not like a design or like that's your last option. He was just like, yeah, I can roll out here. I'm like, no, you're gonna get caught, and he did. He got caught every time where it was not designed when he rolled out of the pocket.
Yeah, no, but I would like to point out that if the Carolina Panthers had decided to get that first down on the drive where they got stopped on 4th and 1 early in the game, converted that into a touchdown, I would have been pretty close on my score prediction. I got 30, 31, 10, and 24-9. I thought I kind of had a good idea of how this game was going to go, but the Panthers also, I think we should point this out. Big takeaways for them. The fact that they lost two pretty important guys to injuries, especially with how quickly Christian McCaffrey got ruled out. That's scary.
Yeah.
Like, how long term is that if they were able to figure out that he wasn't going to go again tonight that quickly? And then on the other, JC Horn as well. But also, just the fact that I feel like they did a lot of things that allowed these guys to stay in the game much longer than they should have. And they're a 3-0 team, but two of those opponents haven't been too impressive. So I still don't know how highly we think of the Carolina Panthers after 3 weeks, even though they're at 3-0.
Yeah, and I think Troy Aikman said it best at the end of the game. Their real test is going to be playing against the Cowboys next week. And at the same time, I mean, that's not. I mean, that would prove to me, at least if they beat the Cowboys, I'm like, okay, they're legit. But I feel like the way that Aikman and Buck were talking about them during the game, they're just like, yeah, these guys have already proven themselves. But to go to the elite tier, they'd have to beat the Cowboys. I'm like, no, that's not.
Well,
They're not. They're a 3-0 team that has played three not so good teams.
as the Fox crew, they have to talk up the Cowboys whenever they get the opportunity to mention them. So that's very important. Besides that, the other reason that it's significant is because, like I said, two of the teams they played against we already consider trash, and the third team we really have way too many question marks about. You can say that there's question marks about the Cowboys, but there's a lot less question marks than there are about the Saints at this point. And playing well against the Cowboys, at the very least, like a middle of the road NFL team would say a lot about the Panthers if they were able to come out and put up a really good game against them. But that's honestly not what I'm expecting after what I saw tonight with how they played. I don't think they played to I really don't think they played to the 3-0 level that they're at.
No, they did not. And I mean this what I said in the preview for this game. Their O-line is going to be the death of them. And the Texans with like the kind of
no names
no names that they have were killed besides Whitney Merciless, but everyone else were like Grenard and Omedahu. It was like I had to write their names down and they were making plays. I was like, okay, I don't know who you guys are, but I'll be keeping an eye out if I ever catch any more Texans games for you guys. They were like ravaging the O line, and then I found out that John Miller was on that O line. I was just like, this O line ain't good.
Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know if you should say one player holds them back that much, but
If John Miller is starting on your offensive line, you and I should know that your offensive line is not good then.
I guess I don't have an argument against that. Yeah, no. Defensive wise, I mean, like I said, I was surprised that there was no turnovers. There was really, I mean, it was consistent defense from both sides throughout the game, but I mean, there wasn't many standouts that didn't come from the D line. Reddick had a few big hits. Brian Burns really did a lot in terms of
He
pressuring,
he cooked
pressuring.
Laramie Tunsil. He cooked Laramie Tunsil. Like, and he's the only good offensive lineman that the Texans have, and he burned him.
Yeah, and but in terms of like secondary or linebackers for either team, I really don't have anybody to point out. But I did think Grenard played a good game for the Texans as well.
Yeah. Jeremy Chin plays special team. He's on kickoff for the Panthers. Wild.
Well, I
Um.
mean, our safeties are on our special teams kickoff unit in Buffalo, so
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird for me where like they kicked off, and then everyone runs off, but Jeremy Chin's still on the field. He's like, yeah, he's trying to get the play in and everything. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that's great. But even Jeremy Chin didn't have that fantastic of a game. Not a lot of standout plays. J.C. Horn had the best plays in that secondary, and he's gonna be out now with a broken foot. So
Broken foot. You
yeah, he's got a broken foot.
just know that that's already
Yes,
confirmed.
that was yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, there it is. News to me, but not to you.
Yeah,
Um,
McCaffrey's got a hamstring. He's gonna be out 4 to 6, and broken foot. No timetable for it. For
okay, whatever. 4 to 6.
injury
Okay.
reports get released during the game.
I know, but you're not. I mean, you're looking at Twitter too, which I'm not doing. I
Yeah,
think that has more info than the broadcast necessarily does because the broadcast isn't ready to announce like how many weeks an injury is going to be
well,
because they'd rather talk about the actual game going on.
yeah, and Troy Aikman can't distinguish between Sam Darnold and Dan Arnold. Which I mean, if there's any commentator that would get that messed up and slur it as many times as he did, it would be Troy Aikman.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen every commentator at every football game ever, so maybe there's someone out there that could make a different mistake. But
Yeah, someone's grandpa that does high school football games, he'd probably be a little bit worse than Troy Aikman.
well, I mean, yeah, he would be. So you said he was the worst. He's not actually the worst. I mean, I would have loved to have Gus Johnson on Thursday Night Football. Why? That would actually make more sense. How did Gus Johnson get the game Saturday in Arizona and Minnesota when like he literally had to go one day to get to that game? If he does a game on Thursday, he has Friday and the time set like he has a full day in between at least to go to the college game. Like I don't get it. That would be awesome if we could get him on Thursday nights.
Yeah. If there's anything we're gonna use our platform for, it's to get Gus Johnson to commentate on Thursday night.
Get Gus Johnson just more jobs calling NFL games.
Yeah. Gus Johnson and Akeem Talib on Thursday night. It'd be awesome.
I'd love it. You know, that may make Jacksonville, Cincinnati more interesting next week.
I might not fall asleep watching that game if he's calling it.
How are you feeling at the end of the night?
Um I'm feeling better for the Texans because
Oh
Kaimi
no
Fairbairn's
no no
gonna,
no
gonna
no
be
no
back.
not about the game. Now
Oh,
this is past the
oh,
game.
oh.
This is like you're gonna fall asleep next week. Like what did this performance do for you?
I mean, the real reason I was staying up was because Davis Mills and just how much of a meme player he became for us when we were talking about him pre-draft. And then even after that, him getting drafted to the Texans, and still talking about him when we talked about the Texans. I needed to see it through. But yeah, that was kind of the only thing. I mean, the first half was exciting. The second half, though, was just such a slog.
No, yeah, and that's basically what it came down to for me too. It was first half pretty good, second half kind of got boring. Um, yeah, but I mean, the funny thing about making a player a meme is like you literally expect nothing out of them. So like 9 points was massively 9 points and no turnovers, massively, you know, overdoing himself as Davis Mills in this
Hmm.
scenario.
Yeah, yeah. If they only would have taken Fehoko, though, Simi Fehoko,
Yeah,
they'd be set. But nope, just Just have to not have a true number one receiver. Have to get rid of DeAndre Hopkins and not bring in Simi Fehoko.
I think it's pretty obvious Brandon Cooks is the number one, but I mean,
He wouldn't be if Fehoko was there.
y'all set.
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.